Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are going to do something with the absolutely lovely Feels Like Frost papers. These were in last year's and they were so popular that they came out again this year, and my goodness, they are just so beautiful. You've got beautiful scenes on one side, and I'll just sort of flick through the ones that I've got left. So you've got lovely, I mean, look at this, just beautiful, beautiful scenery, which is all frosty and just beautiful. And then on the other side, you've got silver. So there is so much that you can do with this paper. I've used it and used it and used it, and I'm going to do something today, and we're using this lovely scene. You've got the beautiful sort of frosty trees, the snow coming down. It's just absolutely lovely. So that's what we're using today. You put that out of the way. And we're going to make a fun fold card, but something that's very simple. So what you need to do is you need to get, whichever country you're in, it will work, a standard card blank. So when you cut your cardstock down, you cut it in half and you score it down the middle, and you have your card base. You are then going to score 1 inch in on one side, and that is then going to just fold back, and that gives you, we can now burnish that, that gives you your fold. So it's a very simple fold that you can put in, but it means that you've got the piece inside as you open it up that you can then see. Okay, so now we're going to take our piece of 6 by 6, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut it first of all down the long side, whatever your card length is, less 1/8 of an inch, because you want 1/8 of an inch border to come round it. So again, I'm not going to give you the measurements because all your cards will be slightly different in the size, but I've cut my pieces and I've cut it out of the one piece. So you have got the 3 pieces which will match the pattern up perfectly, because that's what we want on this one. So this first one is going to fit in here, and it is just going to give you that 1/8 of an inch border. Okay, so for me that is going to measure, what are we at? That is 3 1/8 by 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5/8, because that's the size of my card. But as I say, you want to just cut it so it's 1/8 of an inch smaller, so you just have a tiny little border. So we're going to, let me just get some wet glue for this, and we can glue this down. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I have it just where I want it on the side and the top and the bottom, just with that little 1/8 of an inch border all the way round. Okay, and then we can stick this piece down onto here. So if we just get some, again, you can put any form of glue that you prefer. As you know, I like my wet glue, so I'm just going to do it all with wet glue right the way round, and we're just going to then stick this piece down flat. Okay, and I'm just going to smooth it out again with the my bone folder. Okay, so this piece, because this is going to be 1 inch and we know that that's correct, you're going to do this at 7/8 of an inch, and make sure that that panel is your 1/8 of an inch, and then we're going to glue that on. So it gives a sort of a 3D look tone to it. Now, you can do this with different papers, so they're all different and they don't match. So it's a good way of using up scraps if you want to do it that way. For this one, I just wanted the scene to just have that little sort of 3D bit that came at the top. So just going to make sure that that's level up at the top, and then just bring it down so we've just got that little tiny 1/8 of an inch border coming through. And you can see that the pattern will run perfectly through because that's the way we've cut it. Now the next piece I've cut at a full inch because I want this to tuck in onto the side like that, and I don't want it to show, so I've just made that 1 inch, and we're just going to put this one down in as well. So just getting some of my glue across. I must admit I am enjoying using 6x6 papers. I've always been somebody who's tended to use the 12x12s and cut them down, but I must admit, having 6x6, I do find that I use them more because being smaller, they're easier to have on your desk and to use them. Okay, so we can now shut that up, give it a fold down, and you've got this rather nice sort of scene coming through with the border. And rather than just cutting this piece off, by folding it back, it just gives you that scene. So now we need to decorate our card. So what I've done is I've done a little bit in preparation because otherwise it would have taken too long. So what I've done is I have cut from the poppies. I've got it out with me. It's actually called the... Have I got it out? I don't know whether I have. It's basically in the poppies set, and it's the set of dies, and it gives this rather nice border. Now I've done it with some glimmer paper because I've still got some glimmer paper left. But if you haven't got any glimmer paper, you can use, they've got a really nice sort of pale blue in the autumn winter catalogue that would work really well with this. So I'm just going to put that's going to go in on the centre so that it will open up a bit and give that nice sort of fold. So I've done the stitch shapes, the circles, and it's the second one down. I've just done a Merry Christmas, Celebrate in Style. I wanted a sentiment that was going to fit completely in this. And so the Merry Christmas comes from the Festive Post, and it's this little one here. And then I combined it with, from the gift wrapped, the Celebrate in Style, and put them both together, and I think that that works quite well. So I want to put these both up with dimensionals. So let me get some dimensionals here and we can put these up. Now this we only want dimensionals on. Put it back into the center to see. We want dimensionals on this side, but we don't want it on the other. So if I turn it over like that, and I can just with a pen just turn round and put a little mark down here so that I know, just a little mark, so that I know not to put the glue dots on that side. So if you're somebody who, you know, once it's upside down you forget a little bit, it's an easy way of remembering to do it. So I'm just going to put a couple of dimensionals here. These are all odd tails and things, but they will work perfectly for what we want to do. So I can put that down on that seam piece, and I can take these ones and just use up my little scraps, because as I've always said, we don't have to waste anything. We can use absolutely every little bit, and once you've come to the end of your dimensionals inside, you can then just use the little bits in on here. So there we go. Okay, so we can do this one first. I'm going to take these pieces off. Last one, and then that is then going to go in on here. We can stick it in on the center, and I want it fairly near the top because I want these trees to show on the bottom. So I'm just going to put it in like that, and we know that we haven't got anything in on this side, so it's going to open and close quite nicely. Now I'm going to take this piece and just put that in over the top. You'll find that dimensionals work quite well on glimmer paper because they give that sort of extra piece to stick on. So I'm just going to make sure that that's stuck nicely on. And then we can do just a little bit of decorating. Now I've taken from, because I'm using all the sets that I've got over the Christmas or the festive period for me to do my different things. And in the Cherish the Season, which is the bells, there are the lovely Sounds of the Season dies, and they've got these lovely pretty little ones in on here. Now these are quite tiny, as you can see. So the easiest way of putting these in, I want to just have, I've cut a few out, and I'm not sure how many I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use 2 of the silver and maybe 1 of the blue. So these I want them to tuck in underneath here like that. So I need to put just a little bit of wet glue just in on the bottom like this of these, and so I can put one in that direction. Just put that down because I want the piece to still stick up, and we'll have the blue one tucked in underneath. And again, these have all been done using just little tiny weeny scraps that I've got over. So we'll tuck this one in underneath here, and again just make sure that it's just stuck in on here like that. And then I'm going to have another one just in. In fact, I might do it the other way this time. I might stick some on the top as well as a little bit underneath so it can stick to the top of there. And we're just going to tuck this one in so that it just comes in over the top like that. Then we can put that down. So that's that side. Now I want some to come over this side, which is going to be a little bit tricky, but I think if I just put, I'm going to do a glue dot on these. So we're going to do exactly the same thing, but just another way of doing it. And I'm going to put a glue dot on the top of each one of them so that then it's not going to come through underneath. So I'm going to put a glue dot in on here. Oops. Let's just pick that up. Come on, little glue dot. There we go. You'll find that glimmer paper doesn't like sticking as much. So with this one, we want to tuck it in so that it comes in between these pieces here and we want this to come down lower, so I'm easing this up so it's going to stick to the top piece, and it's not going to stick to tuck it in just a little bit. I don't want it too far outside the card, otherwise it's not going to stick in the envelope. So let's put another one on here. And as I say, just pick it up carefully. Come on, little glue dot. There we go. And because it's on the top, we can stick this in. So we want this one again to come in underneath like this. So I can tuck it right in like that. That can come down there, and then we've got the last one, which again, another little glue dot. So as I say, you can use glue or you can use a glue dot, whichever you find the easiest. And as I say, it works on both of them, so you just need to make sure that they don't stick to you. And then we'll tuck this one in, just in down here, in on. I want that one to sort of go in over the top, then tie a bit, so let's just tuck that in. Whoops. That one coming out now. That one in like that. And I've just got my stick my glue dot in on there. Right, okay, whoops. Now I can stick this back in again because I've got my, let's make sure I've got it in the right place. I've just pulled my dimensionals off. So just stick that down in on the center like that. Press those down properly now. And you've got a rather lovely card, which, as I say, when you open, you've got room here to put your message and things in there, or to stamp a Merry Christmas. And when you close it, you've got, as I say, this lovely piece at the front, but you've got this lovely ribbing effect that comes with just folding it over as a different sort of card. So I hope you enjoyed that one. As always, thank you so much for watching me, and stay safe, stay well, and be kind. Bye bye.